Hello everyone. So I've been trying to make this a video for such a long time. I might as well make it a freaking live stream because live streams I tend to somewhat make mistakes, but not as much as just recording videos. So welcome. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Now today we're just going to cut to the chase. Capcom and wokeness. Now, a lot of people claim that I used to even think this too, that Japan is safe from wokeness. Japan is free from wokeness, but oh my goodness, Japan has been getting woke for some time. I know the conversation right now is all about Sweet Baby Inc., but I want to move this conversation frontward and talk about non-Sweet Baby Inc. wokeness. So you have you have a lot of Japanese companies getting woke, and there are many reasons why. Some for ESG, some were doing it before ESG, and obviously this mostly happens with public companies because a lot of public companies um, try to make as much money as they can, and they really want to make enough money for the investors. So the investors will try and play it safe everywhere. And when it comes to being safe, the definition is for safeness now. It's not being apolitical. It's not being apolitical anymore. It's taking a stand. Over the past few years, especially during 2020, people have normalized the idea that every single company, non-political companies, need to take stands on certain issues. Why exactly? I don't even know. Well, I do know. I do know. Sorry. Sometimes I just like saying that because a lot of them are just fine with their type of opinions being pushed. That's why they want it pushed by other companies too. They demand companies come out and stand out, be bold and brave, and push their own ideology. And this is why apolitical is not safe anymore. Fun fact, if you search anything about marketing and diversity, you will get a lot of these articles that claim that from a lot of these, what do you want to call them, marketers, these expert marketers, a lot of them will claim that you cannot be apolitical anymore. You have to take a stand. That's right. So even the marketers are claiming that you need to make a stand on something. You need to talk about some issue, and it shouldn't feel like you're just doing it for the sake of it. You need to actually mean it. That's why a lot of things have gotten woke. Now, it isn't such a linear story. It isn't. It's a constant mixture of lines going everywhere. It's completely diverse. Now, a lot of companies that are woke, you will have people at the top who don't believe in it, but they will just want to push it for the sake of money. But then you'll have people at the top who are woke and they'll just push it. It's quite diverse. You might have a mixture of in between stuff like that, but I have to just point that out because over the past few months, I've been looking at the marketing stuff, being a bit over worried about that, and you can tell that they are even pushing this type of stuff. They're pushing the wokeness. They're pushing it out there, and you have stuff like ESG where Larry Fink, um, the ESG mastermind, commander at BlackRock, this guy said he wants to change people's behavior patterns and whatnot. He wants to do that, and ESG is basically that. It's forcing these beliefs upon people. You know, when companies just were companies, and people just supported whichever brand they liked, maybe because of the design or the logo or what they produced. But now it's not about that. It's all about what their message they push. And the thing is that being apolitical, they don't want you to be apolitical. They want you to be political AF. And I'm not talking about your personal stance, the employee's personal stance. I'm talking about the company itself needs to be political. They cannot be apolitical because a lot of marketers push this idea that a lot of people want a lot of people want things to be political. A lot of people want statements, and this is true, by the way. Now, maybe the numbers are a bit mixed up, the percentages of how many people, but a lot of the boisterous people really want uh, political statements constantly. That's why you get a lot of constant political statements. Also, let's not forget the fact that a lot of companies also tend to hire woke people now. Have you seen the before and after images? You'll get a before and after image of like the workers who worked at a certain game company, and like the before picture was just a bunch of these like mostly white guys, and then the new picture is about like about these like typical social justice warriors from the 2016, 17, 18 era, you know. Like if you look at that, you can see the problem. They've been basically putting in an emphasis on trying to get more diverse. When I mean diverse, they basically mean woke, because that's what diverse is now in these days. It's just being woke. And when it comes to wokeness itself, I'm not talking about the term that's about being politically aware of the injustices that's happening, the deep injustices. I'm talking about the parody definition of that, which many people call fake woke. So fake woke is the constant evolution of political correctness commingling with hypocrisy. So here's an example. For instance, it's wrong and sexist, misogynistic, and it's all about the male gaze when it comes to female armor, revealing female armor in video games. Female clothing needs to be covered up because if it's not, then most of the time it's going to be claimed sexist, you know? But then you have another statement from the same people who call armor sexist. You'll have them cheer cheer crazy if a female in real life wore something short or showed a lot of skin, you know? Like it's the most beautiful thing ever, you know, but that's not sexist. Okay, it's wrong to tell women in real life to you know dress up modesty, but it's perfectly fine for them to uh, to complain about female characters in fiction and demand that their clothing change, their armor change, demand it to be less revealing. But you try and do it for real life, and they will cancel you, or they'll disagree with you tremendously. So there you go. You know, they jump on these things. Doesn't matter if these things don't correlate together. They just that's just their belief system. You know. Another example is more of the pro women thing. So a lot of people, you know, around 2016, 2015, 2017, they became so pro women, and now it's not cool anymore to be pro women. You know, it used to be the politically correct thing to be pro women constantly, and now it's not the main hot stuff anymore because, you know, what is a woman? What is a woman? The definition of woman as just really being lost out there. Not just that, but anything to do with women definitions like mother or anything like that. These terms that refer to females that are to do with females, those terms are now being watered down, completely ripped apart because it's not inclusive enough. You have to call them birthing persons. Now, fun fact, fun fact, this is happening in hospitals. In some hospitals, um, they refuse to call women who gave birth mothers. They call them birthing people because it's inclusive. You know. So the thing is that this fake woke isn't just affecting your video games and comic books and entertainment. It's affecting everything in real life. And when it comes to the pronoun stuff, for instance, you had Az from Eels versus Babyface complain, have the biggest complaint of the year about pronouns. And on that rant, he mentioned a lot of other things about current day wokeness and stuff like that. But most most of the things people heard was pronouns, and obviously, in some places, you are forced to put your pronouns in. You are forced to put your pronouns in many jobs. And that's the crazy part now, you know, like that's the craziest part out there. It's forced. It was just a thing that some people did, and now it's forced upon you in your jobs. And once again, most jobs, I'm not referring to entertainment, I'm referring to almost anything, you know. Um, what else? There was a recent a recent claim that an old lady who worked for a charity, was part of a charity. I forgot what type of charity it was. She was kicked out of the board of that charity because she questioned what a pronoun was. Why put the pronouns on or something like that? She questioned it. She questioned it, and she received an email saying that, it's she's not welcome there. So yeah, it's not just this entertainment industry. It's everywhere. So as was right, the current day stuff is everywhere. You can't escape from it in your entertainment because the people who are making your entertainment now, many of them are woke. Now, going back to Capcom, because I think this is an important thing to talk about. Capcom has gotten woke over the years, and I really wish I called it out sooner. Now, I'm not just talking about the censorship of Street Fighter 5. I'm talking about like even the recent stuff with Street Fighter 6. That character creator is literally ESG ESG plus 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 because I I cannot understand how that character creator is even a thing. It's so wacky. And I'm not talking about making the characters look different sizes. I'm talking about like when it comes to the ideology of identity, you know, then there's if you choose an identity, your body will be slightly different, they don't call the body types male or female. That's a problem. In Monster Hunter Rise, they did the same thing. They refused to call male and female. They call them body type one and body type two. How crazy is that? You know, constant evolution of political correctness. It's like how a lot of these gaming companies are so pro women, but now they erase women from everything. Funny enough, in Monster Hunter Rise, they did refer to a NPC as female, but they could not refer uh, to the character creators, the character creators as male or female. They couldn't refer to that. That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, Now, back in 2020, there was a bunch of leaks from Capcom, and one of the leaks was a bunch of screenshots of Capcom's diversity training. Now, Capcom had a diversity training, and in those screenshots, they claimed that Last of Us 2 is such a good game. I kid you not. They praised Last of Us 2. Um, what else? They did not like the fact that uh, women can be saved in video games. They used the Legend of Zelda as an example. When it came to uh, revealing armor for females, they spoke about how it's wrong, and the only time they'll have revealing outfits or armor is when male and females can both be sexualized. If one is sexualized over the other, then that's just wrong. They have to stray away from stuff like that. There's a reason why I've noticed some of the new armor in uh, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is very much covered up because because of this diversity training. Like the new armor is covered up a bit. I guarantee you, if wokeness wasn't a thing, the armor would be as revealing as ever. Anyways, um, I guess that's what I want to talk about. And this is the next thing. I do believe that the next Monster Hunter game is going to be woke AF. So here's my predictions. There's going to be pronoun options. I believe there's going to be pronoun options because why not, right? Why not? It's going to be a thing. The character creator is going to be all weird. And let's not forget the fact that um, most female armor is going to be covered up. It's going to be exactly like the males for the most part. You might get like like couple of sexy armor, but then the males have to also be like that in order for it to exist. I wouldn't be surprised if the males could dress up as like feminine armor. I wouldn't be surprised. Like uh I wouldn't be surprised. And remember, I want to point out something that the cross-dressing thing wasn't cross-dressing isn't a problem. It's a problem when it's done by woke ideas. You know, that's the problem. Even recently when it came to their game, Exoprimal, was it called? They had a couple of drag queens promote the game for the English side of it, but for the USA side of it, but for the Japanese side, they had like a VTuber, a cute VTuber. So there you go. You can see what's going on. And oh boy, I also want to point out that in Monster Hunter World, even though they still use the term male and female, I want to point out that, yeah, even though they use the term, the the female character creator section was completely woke because they gave the options of beards. And when I saw this back in the day, I threw this out of my head because I was just thinking, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they want to make people laugh because nothing's funnier than a woman with a beard. But then I realize now that it isn't the 1800s, or this isn't old-timey cartoons. When it's now used, it's used as a woke thing, not as some kind of aha, a woman with a beard moment. No, it's used as literal wokeness. So I should have called it out earlier, and it's my fault. And if the female characters, if they had it like the beard options for the sake of uh comedy, then the previous Monster Hunter games would have that. So I have a bad feeling about the next thing. And yes, Capcom is woke. Now, what's the solution? Because we have the problem. Now, I would say that the hardest solution is buy the company. It's going to be very hard to buy the company because most of the time private companies are less likely to be woke. So there you go. Not only that, but I feel like the best option now is to constantly make this topic make wokeness uncomfortable. Remember, they made female armor uncomfortable. Okay, they push these things upon every single game. All the woke people, they were fine with doing that. Okay, now when it comes to the conversation about wokeness in games, you gotta constantly talk about it, I guess, because I don't want to talk about it personally, but the fact that the people were fine with pushing their ideology everywhere over the past few years, and some people are upset about people complaining about that. Well, no, I guess I have to constantly complain about it until things are done right, because this is not the Capcom I supported. I did not fall in love with Capcom because of their woke nonsense. Okay, I don't want this. I don't care about this. I'd rather have Capcom sell a million copies of games for Monster Hunter than have them become something mainstream where now they have to sell their soul to the woke overlords. That's not nice. That's not right. I don't give a shit anymore. By the way, in the leaks, they even spoke about how some countries they have to be careful with showing certain LGBT characters, and they cited Christian countries. Um, it's not just the Christian countries, but and that's another problem is that they want to constantly have like different versions for the rest of the world, and that's a problem. But from what I found out recently, um, Capcom is going to be working with the localizers from the ground up. So they aren't just going to make the game localized afterwards, with modern sensibility. It's going to be made from the ground up with modern sensibilities. That's crazy because a lot of woke folk don't like the fact that you have to hunt a monster because the monster feels pain. So, anyways, yeah, gaming is dying, creativity is dying, everything, all the industries, all branches of industry have gotten corrupted, and pointing it out is something we can do. But moving forward, I think that I think that it's not just vote with your wallet, because once again, I feel like that would be easy if everyone was on your side, if everyone at least supported what's going on. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And even if that was a thing, vote with your wallet, which I do believe you should. but it's not going to have a major effect. And even if it does have a major effect, you think the woke companies are going to blame you think they're going to blame themselves, or you think they're going to blame the fans? Exactly. So they're not going to be blaming themselves. I just wanted to make this video to point out how crazy it is, and I'm fed up of stuff like this. I don't want to talk about wokeness 24/7. You know, I want to enjoy life. I want to entertain. I want to have fun. I want to play games without wokeness. That's all I'm asking for. Like that's all I'm asking for in 2024. A non-woke game from Capcom. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Bye.